Okay, so this is part 3. Before I get into it, I think I need to put a disclaimer. I hope that children are not watching this. You should not watch this one. If you are a part of my, if you share DNA with me, I don't want to say family, because I've chosen to have virtually nothing to do with most of them. I'm done. Because, yeah, you probably want to turn this off. I am not sparing anyone's feelings. All I care about is my healing, my children's healing, breaking bondage for me and my children. That's it. So, if you know me, if you are share DNA with me, this will be a good time for you to stop being nosy and lurking and exit stage left, because there's going to be a lot of things shared that probably you will not be okay with. Okay? So, I warned you. All right, so in this 10-minute segment, I am going to share some things I have never shared with anyone, because I never felt safe to. And for good reason. And you'll find out later why. I knew I was never safe to really speak up, as most truth tellers are not. And I'll say it again. If you know these people, leave them alone. Leave them alone. The past is the past. Whatever choices we make, it's between us and our God, or us and our imps. And my reason for doing this is not to create more problems for anyone else. It's to solve problems for me and my children. Now, hence, and forevermore. All right, here we go. It's been almost 10 minutes of that. Gosh, time flies. Okay, so another defining moment after that one. And of course, all of life is not all bad and all good, but my experience, every time I sit down and I write it out and I think it out, and people say, wait, was there more good than bad? Was there more good than bad? The balance, the scales don't really look that kind for me. So another defining moment. I was in 3rd grade, I believe. Yep, 3rd grade. And I was going to Bradley Elementary School in Toms River. I'm sorry, not Toms River. Bradley Elementary School in Asbury Park, New Jersey, at this time. And I think this was the first time that I actually had my first really dark season in life. That I don't think anybody was aware of. I don't think my mother and father even knew. So there was a lot of stuff going on. For whatever reason, my home growing up was always like a community center, a place for other people to come and get healed, or some comfort, or some solace, or some shelter, refuge, maybe some spiritual healing. I don't know. But I felt like it was always at my expense, because every time a new person came into our home, into our lives, I feel like I had to pay the price for this. Where do I begin? I had a female cousin, and God rest her soul. She died last year of a drug overdose, and I feel for her, and I completely forgive her for what she did to me, because what she did to me was learned behavior from some other monsters. So I don't know what the circumstances were. I was in 3rd grade. I was in 3rd and 4th grade when we lived in Asbury Park. All I know is, all of a sudden, I've got this older cousin staying with me. I'm not going to say her name. If I refer to her, I'll just say A, I guess, A. She's living with us. I don't hear much about, all I hear is that I guess she doesn't have parents. Actually, I think her dad was in jail, because every holiday season, if I was around my father's side of the family, if I was at my big mom's house in Keyport, I would wind up talking to him on the phone for whatever reason. I never knew this man, never seen him, but he would call there, and all the kids and all of us would say hi to Uncle L and, talk to him on the phone. Still don't know this man ever, but that was a thing. So his daughter comes to live with us, and I heard that she had lived with other people in the family, and she just had a really rough life for whatever reason. Father in prison for I don't know what, but my whole life he's been in prison from my understanding. And but anyway, she comes to live with us, And she is introducing us to some really wild things that I was a teenager before I realized what the heck it was. Like, I really did not know this was sex. She's sleeping in my room. She introduced me to my father's pornography collection. I had no idea. And when the first time I saw the magazines, she just took me into my parents' room because I had a lot of free time in the house growing up with a lot of things happening that they just, for whatever reason, didn't know about. And I remember being really resentful about that later on and thinking they always cared about the church more than they cared about me. I don't know if it's true or not, but that was my experience. But anyway, we're in my parents' room and she's showing me how to like put my fingers underneath the mattress and my hands and pull out these magazines. And they were these cartoons, which looked really cool, but the people were naked. And then the stories were just weird. I did not know at that time that that was pornography. Figured it out pretty quickly and it was very intriguing. And so we're laughing at it. We're not getting turned on, at least I'm not. But she's a teenager. She's introducing me to, and then I'm like, wow, like, why does my dad have these cartoons underneath his mattress? And then later on, she showed me that there were these VHS tapes and that he would keep in his shoebox, of pornography. And that started my curiosity with, this type of activity and behavior. She would frequently introduce me to some sort of little game that we would play at night where she would pretend like she was Tevin Campbell and I was whoever. And those were my first sexual experiences with a teenage girl who was molesting me. And, I'm not going to go into detail, but doing some really what I thought was weird things to my body, but, and asking me to do things back to her. And it seemed to bring her a lot of like pleasure. It didn't do anything for me, but really weirded me out. And she said, this is a secret. And I kept it a secret. She also wound up, whenever we would have a lot of sleepovers, like the adults would get together and they would take turns checking on us, like if we were at other aunts' houses, to make sure everybody was safe, things like that. But at my house, if cousins came to spend the night and stuff, there was a lot of free time. And the running joke my whole life amongst all of my male, cousins and stuff like that was that A did it to every boy in our family during that time. I know that she had did some things to some of the males in my generation in that house, and we witnessed it. And we just didn't talk about it. I don't really know what everybody's mindset was and why we kind of didn't. For me, I just kind of felt like if I talk about this, she said it should be a secret. Some other things were said I don't remember, but it was kind of like this should be kept secret because if I talk about it, I'm just going to get in trouble. And I always kind of felt like if I come out and say certain things to my parents, I'm going to get in trouble. That was just it. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. That was my first, really messed up, sexual encounter. And that was a defining moment. I think that let me know that, I may not be, I don't think I had the vocabulary or the emotional sense to know that I wasn't safe, but energetically, I think I knew that, there were things that could happen, and I didn't feel like I had a safe space to talk about it, to figure it out. We also had two different goddads that would come around the house too. One of them, he's actually an actual DNA relative, and he and his girlfriend were also living there for a while. And although neither one of them were ever inappropriate with me, there was always something off about them and their energy, especially the woman. Come to find out later on that they both were addicted to drugs, and they were just living there for free and I guess providing free babysitting and stuff. And again, he never was cross with me, but it was just, something just wasn't right. And then there was another goddad that had no blood relationship to me at all, but he was my dad's best friend. So we referred to him as goddad and uncle. And we'll come back to that one. I got to figure out a nickname for him. We'll come back to that one in a minute.